Welcome back to White Mountains Today here on White Mountain TV 16. Joining us right here is Susan Bean from the Denmark Arts Council and the Denmark Arts Center. How are you today, Susan?
I'm doing peachy, and I was so psyched when I drove in the parking lot to see the Recycle-mobile. I'm like, it's Rob today.
It's me. We get to hang out.
Yeah.
And over the years, we've hung out under many different things, but you've been taking over. You took over from the Denmark Arts Center last fall.
Yes, I actually took over. I joined them as a board member, which was a nice way to have an introduction.
Yeah.
And even though they're in the neighborhood I live in, I still had my focus elsewhere in North Conway. And so in January, February, I stepped up to fill in the executive director position, and it's been quite a ride. It's been lovely. It's sort of the first year for me is to see how things flow, see how things work. And last night, I was telling Hans when I came in, we had Blue Bus perform at the Arts Center. I'm thinking, this is a great gig. I love this job. It was so good.
And it's awesome. And the Denmark Arts Center, I think it's one of those things that, I mean, obviously, you know, we reach a lot of people and a lot of people in Freiburg, and so Denmark is a stone's throw.
Yeah.
But really, North Conway is just a stone's throw, too, if you have a good arm. Because I remember driving there last fall, and I was like, wow, it's really close.
Yep.
And it's so easy, you know, you just go on, what is that route? Is that 113?
113.5.
And then you take a little turn off.
Yeah.
And it's right there. So it was really, and it's a beautiful drive.
It is. It's sweet. It's sort of off the hidden path and a little more of the pastoral type view.
Right.
Before you miss your drive, you don't want to miss the turn.
Right. But it's one of those things you don't have to worry. You don't have to go, oh, it's an hour away. It's not an hour away. It's really close.
And we are pretty fortunate. There are many talented people we know around North Conway. Spills over into many talented people in Denmark, and there's a lot to choose from as far as entertainment goes, as far as children's camp go, as far as performance art goes. There's a lot to choose. We're fortunate.
Absolutely. So what have so far this year you've had quite a few. We have the poster here. I'm just gonna you know, some of the people who were here this summer: Michael Means, Flukes. You had a strawberry shortcake, or was that a band?
This is a strawberry shortcake. Ours looked much better than the photo, and they sold out. So I'm saying that that was a good evening for us.
Absolutely. So plenty of great things. Plus, you have a whole bunch more going on. So let's talk about what's coming up.
Well, what we have coming up is last night. Again, I have to say, this is the first time seeing Blue Bus. It's not orchestra, it's the minibus, so it was the Blue Bus. And it was just lovely. It was great, it was rocking, so many talented people in one room. And then we just finished our partnership with Celebration Barn, of which we had our Friday family nights. Mm-hmm. And so Friday night we had Steve Regatz. He's a virtuoso juggler, 25 years with Cirque du Soleil. And man, did he show his stuff. So it's been a nice house that we've had for the last few weekends. And then the next 3 weekends, we're just focusing on Saturday night bands. So next week, lovely, a Maranouche, funky, gypsy, flamenco type, bebop jazz. So they have a range. And then the following Saturday night, I think is familiar to everyone, is Junko.
Right.
So that'll be fun evening with them. And then to finish off our season, we're changing a lot. We have DePonte String Quartet coming to join us.
Wow.
September 1st. We have an art opening that day, and that evening we finish off our season with the string quartet, which I'm psyched. It's a nice end of the season.
Absolutely. And I mentioned it before. I mentioned it earlier. The building, the Denmark Arts Center building, is what a fabulous building. When I was there last year, and I just explored the building. And it's just so cool. And the sound in that building, too, is great. I mean, I was just chatting up on the stage, and you know, you can hear everything.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it was built 135 years ago, 1883, specifically by the Oddfellows fraternal order for a dance hall. So there are no posts.
Right.
And they have these inverted king trusses that supports the walls, brings them in, and it is a great dance floor, truly, and the sound is wonderful for musicians too. Yeah.
And so what fun that is to be able to hang out on a summer night
Yeah.
in Denmark in this classic old building.
With air conditioning.
With air, well,
I realized, like, the more the summer has gone on, we just had our theater camp with Mary Bastoni. She's been doing it for 20 years. And all week with these kids who are just, like, plowing through this role of the Snow Queen, their roles of the Snow Queen, were hot. And I'm like, we're saving the air conditioning to really have a good effect on Saturday. They were sweating the bejiminies. And yesterday was great.
right.
Temperature broke, play was excellent, and we had AC anyway because we wanted to get that chilling effect.
Right, absolutely.
So it was good. So I wanted to check in with you guys because we're all still in the heat of things,
Right.
of summer. But we just started talking with Mountaintop Music for our fall schedule. Mountaintop Music will do our music camp next week, which is lovely. And then we're going to be working with them this fall to do a jazz course,
Nice.
which Mike Sakash in his professional musician cohort will be teaching in a 6 to 8 week session in the fall for people in Denmark. So you can drive over if the night works for you. People in Denmark can just stroll down the street. We're psyched about our relationship and partnership with Mountaintop Music Center.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Anything else planned for the fall? I mean, you must have other stuff in your pocket.
Yeah, I mean, and when I say, like, talking about De Ponte String Quartet, they're finishing off our season. They're finishing off our summer season. We
Right.
still have performances going through the fall on Saturdays. We have the jazz course starting up in the fall. We also have a sip and clay, so your wine glass will be dirty, but you're going to learn a lot about form and glazing and firing. And then we have a guitar workshop with Gary Polhemus, which is it's a workshop series. So it will be a 6 to 8 week course. Every other week will be singer-songwriters gathering.
Nice.
But he breaks it down, and so you can come in whichever class you want. You don't have to do all of the courses. So it's a workshop where you're fine-tuning your skills. You're either working on your chord sequencing. And he did it last year, which was really great. And then we had a performance in the spring. So we'll see about a performance in the group in the fall too. But he has a really solid guitar course. It's really nice.
Well, that's great. Now, how can people find out your schedule? What's the best way to do that?
DenmarkArts.org is place to find us. We try to smatter around town our brochures, and
Right.
this is usually set up for the summertime. The posters hopefully are all
seen a
around
bunch
for
of
the
them,
summer,
yeah.
But then we keep our website current, up to date, and we'll be posting there. Also, too, sending an email, you get on the email news blast. And so whenever things are coming in, sometimes bands will come through town that we know of, myriad ways. And if we have a slot open, we'll do a last minute gig setup. So it's good to keep your eyes on the website for that reason. Because if we have someone talented come through and they're like, yeah, just blow through town on the 21st, just like, perfect. The timing's right.
Yeah.
So you don't know who you'll see because not everyone's on the schedule.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think so too.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. So what else can we talk about here? I think we've kind of covered everything. Sounds like we're.
Well,
you have a list there.
I have.
So.
Well, I have to say, for my experience, the first time coming into Denmark Arts Center, it's my year to learn and understand. And I think what has been lovely is, for me, connecting North Conway to Denmark. It's not that they haven't been connected before.
Right.
It's not that they're far away and there's a chasm between. But to be able to bring in my relationships and partnerships with businesses and people in North Conway over to Denmark, that's been a wonderful fluid transition. And Pat over at Minuteman Press, the great crew over at Conway Daily Sun and WMWV, and you guys have been so supportive. And it makes a difference.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
So it's been nice.
Well, that's great. So the next one coming up is I'm going to let you pronounce it.
Amaranouche.
Amaranouche.
I've been practicing more than you. These folks are Boston-based and eclectic almost in a way like Blue Bus was last night with Steven and Nat and Justin and those guys, and Gus, who was a nice addition. So they jammed, and they're pulling in some people. Blue Bus brought in some friends last night. And so that part of it is not a stayed program.
Yeah.
It's more fluid than that. So Amerinouche as well is that type of playing off people if they're bringing friends in. But I like Gypsy Flamenco Rock. I'm like, I could get into all three of those, and I want to hear them mosh together.
Right.
So that would be fun.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that's next
great.
Saturday night.
It's next Saturday.
Yep.
Well, Susan, as always, great to see you.
Thanks.
And I'm sure we're going to hear more about what's going on at the Denmark Arts Center. So again,
Yes.
denmarkarts.org is the best thing to do it, and send them an email so you can get on that email list. That sounds
That
like
would be lovely.
a good way to do it. So,
Oh, it's nice
all
to
right,
see
well,
you.
good to see you.
Thanks.
And we'll be back here in a minute on White Mountains Today.